Welcome to Blood in the Snow Radio, where we give you the latest news and interviews with the best in Canadian genre cinema. Here are your hosts, Robert Bellamy and Festival Director Kelly Michael Stewart.
And welcome to this special edition of Bits Radio. Today, I get the privilege of sitting down with Avi Federgreen of Federgreen Entertainment to discuss pitching and some ways to streamline it. So when you have that 30 seconds in the elevator, you know, you can take full advantage of it. So without further ado, Avi, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm going to start out by asking one quick thing. What is the one big pet peeve of somebody that would come up and start pitching?
Well, first of all, most people just don't come up to me and just pitch. They generally will email me something to have a look at or things like that. But I think that pitching is an art form, and I don't think enough people really know how to pitch, and I feel like they're completely unprepared when it is time to pitch. To me, the key essential elements of pitching is that you have to know it and feel it. You can't just read it from a piece of paper. You can't memorize it. It's got to come from within you. It can't be one of these things where, and I've been to, rain dance pitch things where people pitch projects to me in a group audience setting and things like that, and they're not prepared, and they'll read it from a piece of paper, or it sounds like it's been memorized or things like that, and I have no confidence in the project if it's not coming from somebody who completely knows and feels the storytelling. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. And we had our first comment. Scott says, Avi, I'm digging the lockdown beard.
Good old Scott from all the way in the NWT, one of my dear friends. I love him very, very much.
Excellent. Well, thank you for tuning in, Scott. With this not preparedness, what are some of the key things that you would like to see when someone comes up to present a project to you?
That is good. How about that? Let's start with that.
Yes.
Because, I read, just on reading scripts, I read over 100 scripts a year. I might want to get involved in 2, which is not good odds, obviously. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how people go, oh, well, my film script has won numerous festival script competitions, and then I read it, and then it has more holes than Swiss cheese. It's so, and it's similar. Like it's shocking how these scripts win awards when you read it and it's not worth the paper that it's written on. For me, I'm looking for something that you haven't seen every day. I mean, look, I'm not a genre guy per se. I mean, I don't go out of my way to watch horror movies. I'm too scared by watching them. Like, I just constantly, like this kind of turning away. But I got into genre filmmaking first with working with my friend Justin McConnell, who, I've made a couple of films with, and we have a bunch of other ones that we're hoping to make. And we became friends, and I believed in him, and I believed in his talent, and I believed in his storytelling, and that was life changer. And then from that, I met Gabe and Reese, and we become family now. And I would make movies with them over and over and over again because of their passion and their drive. And the thing is that their films, these people's films are unique. It's not like when you go to a genre film festival, which I hadn't ever been to. Really a genre festival until I started traveling around the festival circuit with Justin on Life Changer. And, these audiences are rabid filmmakers and film goers, and not like when you go to these other festivals. You don't see how into the films that the audience is like in a genre film festival. And they're looking for something that they haven't seen every day. They don't want to see the run-of-the-mill, multiple killing film. They want to see something that's completely stand on its own merit and that you don't see every day. And you're looking for that, and I'm looking for that. And you don't see that very often. Like, it's rare that you find a script that completely stands out as something like, I've never heard of that, or I've never seen that before, or that kind of thing. And I feel like I really want a script that I feel for. In other words, I'm looking for something that I might cry, I might laugh, I might scream. I want to experience as many of the feelings that one can have in watching a film, in reading a script, and then eventually seeing the movie. And I don't necessarily, what was interesting about Life Changer is people would come out of the theater after watching it, and some of them were crying. And I went, I don't think I've ever seen that in a genre film before. But they were also scared. They were also, they also laughed a little bit. Like, I feel like not enough attention goes into the script writing process anymore. I feel like with the digital age that many filmmakers are taking the easy road, that they think that their script is great. But if they ever got script coverage on it by script readers and they got other people to read it, whether or not those people would feel the same way about that script that they do. And because of the digital age, everybody can call themselves a filmmaker, which I think is a problem also. But I don't think enough work goes into the script, and I think that people need to spend more time at the script stage before they jump on set and start making a film. That once the film is cut together, they realize, maybe there are some problems in the film that they never really paid attention to before. And the script is everything. Like, I tell people, like, it starts with a great idea, and from that great idea, you can get a great script to happen. And if you have a great idea and a great script, you can attach a great director. And if you can have those three things, you can attach a great cast. And if you have those four things, you can get an audience. And if you have those five things, you'll get money.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it would shock you to know how many people don't start with a great idea. And generally what I do is when I read a script, I look for that great idea, because maybe the script isn't worth the paper it's written on, but maybe there's one inherent idea I can take from that script and make a whole new movie out of it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I've done that before. And that one idea could be golden. Like, it could be the next best thing since sliced bread that you haven't ever imagined. And all of a sudden it's out there in front of you, and you got to grab hold of it and turn it into something brilliant. And I've done that a few times where the script was absolutely horrific, but there was one idea in there that was like, wow, I need to take that idea and make it into something. And I did. And we ended up making the movie, and the movie ended up doing really well. So, okay. And look, when you look at Vicious is a film that has every emotion imaginable in that film contained within 80 minutes. And you cry, you laugh, you scream, you're scared. I mean, it's got everything. And it had everything from the moment I first read it. And it was a matter of taking that script and really honing in on it and making it even better than it originally was presented to me. And that took about an extra year of just working with Reese and Gabe on getting that script to where it needed to be. And I think they'll tell you that they're really pleased with waiting and developing that script more to getting it to where it was on the script that we shot. And I think the script stands on its own. I really do. And the result of the film obviously is great. I mean, I'm really proud of that film, and we made that film for so little money. It's crazy. And it got into every major genre festival there is, and super proud that it got into BITS.
Yeah.
which was super. That was where we wanted to go, and we got into it, and we were really pleased as punch to get into bits. And I think that the film will stand the test of time in how it was done.
Perfect. Well, this leads me up to one of two questions I have for you. And the first one, you were talking about getting a script and it's got all these awards from all these film festivals. Does that really mean anything? Or is the film festival itself important if it has an award from it?
Look, to the filmmaker, it means everything. To me, it means nothing. Because at the end of the day, when I look at it, I don't care what it's won or any of that stuff. I care about, is it any good? Is it doable for the money that we can raise? Is there an audience that will take it? And I work very closely with Raven Banner, and I've made, I don't know, my last 6 films with Raven Banner, something like that. And, I get them involved in development. So they're a highly respected sales company that I appreciate. They're friends of mine. I would consider them family for the most part. I care very much about what they have to say. They know the genre audience better than I do. And at the end of the day, I have to have a sales company on board that's going to tell me that they can sell my film. If they can't sell my film, then what's the point of making it? Period. Okay. And because just getting into festivals isn't going to be enough, because at the end of the day, I have private investors and funders that I need to help recoup their money. And if I can't sell it, how am I supposed to help them recoup? So I get Raven Banner on board very, very early. And I have a walk in the door policy with them where if I think it's something that they should see, they want me to present it to them, they will read it. If they think that there's significant potential in that script, then they will give me notes, and we will sort of develop it together with the filmmaking team to get it to a place where it's ready to then go after the money and make it. Also, that it has to be able to be made for a small amount of money, because in Canada, for example, it's really hard to raise money to make films. It just is. And genre films are not being funded by Telefilm. They're just not. So it's all private money. It's personal money. It's it's stuff. It's money that you save in your pillowcase. That's what it is. So that amounts to a very small amount of money. And so can we achieve this script for the money that we're going to be able to have access to? And in this world that we're living in, where there's so much content that you're competing with, the lower the budget of the film, the better, because 300 to 400 films are being released every month right now. How do you find your audience in a world that's that competitive right now? And you've got to be in the right place at the right time and the right budget level to make it. I mean, that's the reality. So you have to set yourself up for success.
I apologize. My mic shut off on me.
Okay.
That's where you get that line between art and business, because it is a business in the end, but you build it as art.
Yeah. I mean, again, it comes right down to, has to be great. If it's not great, then it's not worth making. And it has to be great, but it also has to be sellable, right? And I trust Raven Banner to tell me if it's sellable or not.
Well, then this brings up the second part of the question is, how far into a project would you want to be brought in? Would you want to be brought in just when the script's written, or if there's people attached already, or how much is too much?
I think you come in as early as possible where there isn't anybody attached is the best, because then we worked it because at the very beginning, it's just about the script. Attachments mean nothing. And what's interesting is, people think you got to have names in your movie. At the end of the day, what I've witnessed is that in genre is that it's about the script and it's about the execution. So in other words, it's about the idea and the execution. It's not about who's in it, because really, I mean, I know who Laura Burke and Colin Paradine and Nick Smith is, but does the genre world know who they are? They have no fucking idea who they are.
Yeah.
But what they are is great actors. So you don't need name talent like Hollywood's A-list or whatever to be in your genre film. You just need great actors who can execute a great script, period.
Okay. So then if someone was coming to you, what would be like the 3 big things you would want to see from that person?
Money.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
That's a good one. That's
like they have to pay me. No. Look, it's got to be. I mean, what most people are approaching me with right now is, I start with a synopsis, and I won't read the script until I've read the synopsis. If the synopsis is intriguing, then I'd be inclined to read the script. If they have a lookbook to give me with the synopsis, that would be better. As few attachments as possible, because if I'm going to get involved, I'm going to want to say in the attachments. My sales company, which hopefully is Raven Banner, will want to say in the attachments. So the more baggage you have attached to your project, the less interested I would be.
Gotcha. Okay. See, I always thought that would be beneficial because it saves you work, but I do see your point where you can put the right people in place for your project.
Well, that's what I do. I've made 70 movies, over 70 movies, and I've done it from the ground up. So I know I can put together a great crew. I'm responsible for finding the money. So I want to say in every aspect of making the film. I don't want a bunch of people saying, well, I want this person and this person and this person and this person. And I'm going, well, hold on a second here. I'm the one that's putting this whole thing together and raising the money to then sell it. I want to say in all of that.
No, that makes perfect sense. Then how soon is too soon? Like you said, you would read the synopsis first. Would someone come to you with a good synopsis but no script? Well,
you can't really build a synopsis without having at least an outline or something of a script.
Yeah.
It would be good if there was a first draft at the very least that would follow a synopsis. Just having an idea isn't enough, because I need to be able to see if they can write. If they can't write, but they have a good idea, then I'm going to have to go find a writer to write, right?
Okay.
And that's not necessarily easy because most writers are writing their own ideas, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, I've had situations where I've had a script, I've worked with a writer, the writer just can't get me to the end zone, so I will replace the writer if I have to get us to the finish line so that I can then go raise the money to make the movie.
Okay.
Some writers can't get there. They start great, but their finish is not so great. So you have, as a producer, a good producer, you have to recognize that sometimes writers can't get there and that you need to make a change.
Okay. And then just when let's say you decide you find this perfect script, what does that deal normally look like? Like, is this something where you would purchase the script, or do you work with the person? Like, how does that fall into place?
So in typical fashion, and this is not necessarily for the faint-hearted, nobody gets paid. Like, we're all making this movie because we want to make this movie. And we're making it for basically where the producer doesn't get paid, the writer doesn't get paid, the director doesn't get paid, and everybody else gets paid, but they're not getting paid a huge chunk of change. And we're making this movie for somewhere between 100 and 225,000, something around there. Because trying to raise more money than that is almost near impossible in this climate. And also, if you do raise it, can you guarantee recoupment to the investors? And exactly. I think you can't even guarantee recoupment on a $225,000 movie. And the thing about me is that, I've been fortunate enough for the most part, all but maybe one film have been able to pay back everybody all their money. So you want to be able to do that, or the investors aren't interested in getting involved with you anymore. Do you know what I mean? So you have to be willing to find a way to pay them back.
Okay. So has that outlook changed recently with the way things have going? Like right now, theaters have been closed, so there's no screenings and things like that. Has that changed the outlook or the approach?
Yeah, I mean, like, theatrical is dead, in my opinion. I think it was dead, but even before COVID. I think indie film getting screens was very, very difficult in Canada. I even think outside of Canada, I think most films of the indie variety would mostly just go straight to VOD, maybe the odd broadcaster once in a while. But I think it's really hard to get theatrical now. And even distribution, it's hard because, again, there's so many titles that they're looking for something special. And, depending on the genre, like ghost stories don't sell in Asia because it's a religious thing. In China, they won't take a ghost story movie. Certain territories won't take overly violent films, especially if kids are the villain. Those certain countries won't take films like that. Like, I'm learning more as I go along in the genre that what countries will do and what countries won't do. So yeah, it's challenging. I mean, every day there's something.
Interesting. Okay, so the big takeaways then is make sure you have at least a first draft, right? Make sure it's good. And that's why I asked about film festivals too, because I know I've had people send me stuff, and on the poster it's got like 85 different laurels from film festivals. But it's you said that's why I wondered if it was the caliber of the film festival too. Like if it came
from so if you've read a script that has won all these awards from those film festivals, how good is it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my first question. The second thing is it even shootable for the budget that you're going to have? It's great. You can write a great script. It could have a bazillion killings. It could be in 25 years in the future or 50 years in the past, that you've got to find a way financially to make that film. How the hell do you do it on a reduced budget? I mean, I just, and I've had people say, oh, yeah, you can make it for a small amount of money. And then you read it and it's got 30 cast and 50 locations. And I mean, it's just like, come on, like, why are you wasting my time?
It's like epic,
Yeah, like you can't, there's no way. There's no way. So, look, I'm all game, but it's got to be doable, because the money is not just in my mattress. Like, I've got to go find it. And it's because of COVID. A lot of people that used to put money into movies lost a bunch of money in the stock market because the stock market went in the toilet because of COVID. They're gun shy on putting money out for film, which is not a guaranteed investment. So, there are a few people still out there interested in investing, but not as many as there used to be. And you've got to be creative on how you're financing. You've got to be creative on how to make it. And it's got to be good, and it's got to be sellable. So if Raven Banner says to me, Abby, this thing has got no chance, then I'm immediately out. Like, I would just drop it like a lead weight. I won't do it. Because without a sales company, I really don't have any possibilities to hope for, right?
Yeah, you have no output to recoup the cash. Okay. Oh man, thank you so much for coming on and chatting about this. If you don't mind, I'm going to do the outro, but stick around for just 1 second. I got one more question for you off
Okay.
there.
Okay. Right.
So, man, yeah, thank you so much. Again, if anybody has questions, Avi is here. And I guess for this episode of Bits Radio, we'll see everyone after.
Join us next time for Blood in the Snow Radio. Bits Radio is a production of Three Evil Cats Productions in association with the Blood in the Snow Canadian Film Festival. For more information and to listen to other episodes, visit bloodinthesnow.ca and tweet us at BitsFilmFest. Music by Jen Gorman, produced and edited by Kelly Michael Stewart. I am Eduardo Correa Lima. Till next time.